Hello and welcome to this special preview for Crocodilia Coast for Jurassic World Evolution 3. My name is Tom Clark, I'm the product manager, and we have a lot to get through today, so I've got some wonderful guests joining me from the development team. Starting over on my right, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Kieran, I'm part of the production team.
Lovely stuff, and over on my left?
I'm Emma, I'm part of the concept art team.
And I am Paolo from the animation team.
So we have the full team here, full force. We've got a lot to get through today. So we're going to jump straight into game and take a look at the first big new species coming in Crocodilia Coast, the Deinosuchus. Kieran, what can you tell us about this awesome looking species?
Yeah, so I think the first thing to note here is that it is a croc, and it is a giant croc. Very hotly anticipated, like you say. It's been wanted in the game for quite a long time, and we've gone and done it. It's very different to a lot of species that we've had in the game before. Firstly, it's ginormous, but also the way it behaves and stuff that we've done there is just so incredibly unique, and I'm so excited that we've got it now in the game. And
this is the first type of its family, right?
It is, yes. So it's part of the Pseudotsuchia clade, so brand new clade for the game. You'll see a few more later on, but right now we're introducing you to the main star of the show.
And it's great to obviously finally introduce it to the game. I know players have wanted it for quite a while. You know, here in Jurassic World Evolution 3, we're able to fully realise this species obviously as a full family unit, and it just looks stunning here with obviously the lighting that you get in the game. Really, really beautiful. We do also have the juvenile knocking around, but this species, obviously as a croc, is a bit more relaxed. Like, it can be fierce, right, Kieran, in terms of its behaviour?
It can. They prefer to chill, though, as you'll see here, with the juvenile just swimming up towards the adult. They prefer to bask, bathe, they like to float in water, they don't want to expend energy at all, but they will protect themselves if they are backed into a corner, but they like to be in the water, and that's awesome. Where they live and they thrive.
So. Amazing. Sweet. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about the fierceness of the species in a moment. But Emma, can you talk to us a little bit about the art side of things? Obviously, this is a completely different. We've not done anything like this before, right? So completely new approach.
Crocodilian that we've designed, and I think it came out fantastic. I mean, it was a lot of extra work just on getting every single scoot that you see on that beautiful model just right. All had to be then hand sculpted by our wonderful character team. You can really feel the kind of weight that it's got. It's just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, and it is a big species, right? Like, we're not really getting a sense of scale. I mean, maybe you kind of are off the side of these trees, but this is massive, right?
Yeah,
it's
I
huge.
think, like, your brain, when you're looking at it from this context, you'll think that it's about the size of, like, it's like a really big regular crocodile, like a modern day crocodile. But no, this was big enough to eat hadrosaurs, ceratopsians, juvenile theropods, so definitely keep the baby T-Rex out of this enclosure.
Yes, absolutely. And it's the juvenile is, was it you were telling me that it's sort of, a big juvenile is sort of believed to be the size of kind of what a modern day adult croc kind of looks like in terms of size, right? I mean, it's massive, really, really, really huge. No, it's amazing. And then obviously, it's the animation side of things, right, Paolo? Like, this is a completely new species, right? There must have been a load of work that went into making this sort of happen and then bring it to the game.
Yes. We never did anything like this in the game, so it was a very novel and fresh challenge, which we had so much fun with.
Yeah, and it's a quadrupedal, right? So, like, there's a whole new sort of locomotion that we've not really done before with this kind of species. Yeah, that was, I think, my favorite part to work on, the locomotion, especially the run that I worked on. Yeah, the juvenile.
You know, the flailing arms, flailing limbs. It
looks amazing.
Very unique to the crocodile.
No, it's cool. And we've got some awesome interactions and animations, not just between the adults, but juvenile to adult and juvenile to juvenile. But one of the big things about this species is obviously it's got that sort of ambush, death roll kind of attack, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, they have these very fierce, death roll. Apparently, as many of you probably know, the crocodiles can perform a death roll, and scientists do believe that this species, the Deinosuchus, was capable of doing that. So we put that into the game, and yeah, it's quite the intense animation. Just
Yeah,
getting
absolutely. Yeah, and there's obviously like a load of work that we have to do moving backwards as well, right? So
Yes,
you have
not
to.
only-
Did you have to add like a bone or something?
Yeah,
into
not
other
only
species?
the work on the Deinosuchus, but you need to go back and add a bone for the praise to attach to the bite.
Right,
of the
absolutely,
Deinosuchus.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, we kind of we sort of glance past that whenever we're sort of talking about animations and bits and pieces, but there's a lot of work that we have to do going backwards. So yeah, every species that the Deinosuchus can attack in a death roll has a new bone in its head, right?
Indeed.
It makes you feel really bad for the herbivores.
That's it, yeah, absolutely. Hey, you're going to get attacked by the Deinosuchus now. Here's an extra bone in your head.
You've never experienced before.
No, it's incredible. And yeah, like I said, it's awesome to finally have it in the game, and I'm sure players are going to absolutely love seeing this one in their parks on August 11th. So let's step away now from the Deinosuchus, and we're going to take a look at another carnivorous species coming in the pack, which is the
Yeah.
Postosuchus, which is hiding from us here.
They are indeed.
There they are. Kieran, what can you tell us about this new species?
Well, I think straight off the bat, as you can see, because I struggled to find them, they are quite small. So Triassic theropods generally quite a lot smaller than you get with Cretaceous and Jurassic theropods. They're really old, so like the Deinosuchus is 75 million years old, but the Postosuchus here is 225 million years old. So it is a lot further away from the Deinosuchus than we are from the Deinosuchus.
There it is, chasing down some food.
Oh,
Yeah.
there we go.
Oh my god! And it moves quick as well, as you can just see. It can
Incredibly
really
fast.
get a step on if it wants to get some food. No, incredible. Looks good for its age considering how old it is. Love it. Amazing.
Yeah.
So, Emma, what can you tell us? Obviously, on the art side, obviously a bit of a unique sort of shape and layout to this species.
Yeah, so I mean, I think from a glance you might assume that this is some kind of like large-headed theropod, but yeah, it is actually a pseudoseuchian, so it's more closely related to crocodiles than it is to birds. And in the design, we definitely wanted that to come across, have that kind of crocodilian lineage come through with the kind of beautiful detailing that it's got on the back and all those scoots and ridges. And it's just kind of a joy zooming in on this fella, because they're just really pretty with really striking colours. And they've got a really interesting skull as well. I thought the skull was really cool. Again, it doesn't look like a crocodilian skull, like at all. But it's got this cool horizontal ridge on the maxilla, which is the upper jaw, for getting technical. Just one of those like really unique details that we wanted to showcase in this animal.
And look at that. I think that's the juvenile, right? Eating
That is so cute.
yeah, there you go.
The parent
Getting the goat for the juvenile.
got dinner.
And one thing that we're sort of catching there as well is they've got obviously quite unique feet, right? So they have their own like little foot pattern.
Yeah, we had
leave
to
on the
make
floor.
new footprints
That's it. Yeah, there it
for
is.
this
Yeah,
pack, because they've got 5 toes and they're
Toes.
flat-footed as well. So kind of like us, humans are also flat-footed technically.
no, they're really, really cool. No, awesome looking species. And then from an animation side, I mean, we obviously caught a little glimpse there of sort of the attack animation there, Paolo. But what can you tell us about the way that this one moves and kind of the work that you guys had to do to sort of bring it to game?
Yeah, so this was a bit of a blend between the Deinosuchus and a more classic theropod, like we have many in game. As you said just now, they are flat-footed, slightly different from what we usually do, but still, it was quite fun to animate. And then we decided to, as Kieran said earlier, these are quite small, but they were still the apex predator of their time. So we tried to convey that, weight, heft, and presence in various, animations, behavior.
Absolutely, and obviously saw a little bit of the fierceness there in them with the goat. And I know I keep coming back to this like I did with the Deinosuchus, but I've seen when one of these escapes their enclosure and they're chasing down either other dinosaurs or guests, they can use their forelimbs to sort of hold down something that they're attacking.
Yeah.
Or actually, they also kind of pick themselves up as well with their forelimbs when they're laying down, which is similar to how I pick myself up. But in terms of that, like, how do you guys sort of come to design sort of the attack animations and how they sort of fight and defend themselves?
So yeah, we always get reference from real life. Well, not dinosaurs, of course, but current animals. For the attack animation on the guest, for the Postosuchus, we used reference with a bear hunting
Oh wow!
Very
okay.
fierce animation. And we also decided to use the forelimbs and display that because scientists believe that he could put his weight on his front limbs. So we wanted to display it in that.
No, it's really, really cool. And obviously, when we're sort of walking around the office, we're seeing the team sort of pull these together and bring science and sort of the game and kind of our aspirations all together to sort of like bring them into these packs. Like, it's just awesome to see them sort of tottering around and feel so alive. And yeah, no, really, really amazing. Love this species. Great. Let's go jump into another enclosure and we'll take a look at our herbivorous species coming in the pack. If you're going to be able to find them though, because they do blend in quite nicely with the environment. As you can see, Kieran on the sticks is struggling. We're going to have to cheat and use the...
They're incredibly
Try and be a
elusive.
Postosuchus and find one. There you go.
there we go. So this is the Desmatosuchus. Kieran, what can you tell us about this this very cool looking species?
Yeah, well, firstly, they're very difficult to find, as you'll see. They camouflage themselves quite well. But yeah, like you said, herbivore, which is very different to the Postosuchus, the Deinosuchus. Also belongs to the Pseudosuchia clade, and I don't think I mentioned yet. Pseudosuchia, it actually means false croc. It doesn't actually mean croc, which is ironic that the Deinosuchus, which is an actual croc, is also in that clade. The reason for that is because animals like the Desmatosuchus and the Postosuchus were found first, and also they're a lot older, and they got put into that category. And then we started to discover actual crocs, so we just put them in there as well. Not that that's a little bit lazy from the paleontological point of view, but it already existed.
That's awesome.
The Desmatosuchus itself, though, as you can see, this one is hiding also incredibly well. I'm not having any luck with them, am I? There we go. They're very familial. You'll notice as well that because of that, the females here actually have much larger spikes on them. And that is because the way that they would behave is they'd act in herds and they'd protect their young in those herds. So the mothers in the groups would be the ones to stand up and fend off predators. And like we've just seen with the Postosuchus as well, the Desmatosuchus would actually be on the menu for the Postosuchus. They lived at the same time.
Oh, so they would have met each other.
Yeah, they would have. Yeah,
They would have
very
hung
well
out,
acquainted.
maybe. Yeah, absolutely. No, it's a very, very cool looking species, very unique. Emma, what can you tell us about obviously this back and its kind of armour and the design of it?
Yeah, the fossil for the Desmatosuchus is absolutely gorgeous. And it's got, when you look at the skeleton for the first time, it's like, is this like a weird prehistoric armadillo? Like, what is this thing? It doesn't look like anything I've ever seen, especially the skull. The skull is like really unique looking. So the fun challenge that the concept team had was not just kind of interpreting how would this look with like skin and muscle on top, but also making it look like a real animal that could exist, making it feel realistic, but also keeping that kind of charming strangeness that it has that I really like. Especially I love the little snout that they've got. They've got like a
long little face there.
Yeah, it's like a hard keratin snout that is kind of shaped like a shovel, because it would have been a bit of a shovel for them to shovel through soft dirt and mud, getting all the tasty food hiding in there, all the tasty veg.
Well, that's a pretty good segue, I think, to you, Paolo, right? Obviously, from an animation standpoint, you and the art team coming together, joining forces to bring the art into the animation. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So yeah, we decided to use to have this unique behavior in the eating animation. Where he will, as we said, dig into the ground to get the nutrients, and in the social, which we wanted to display as much as we could.
Oh, I love that shape. How the plates, it feels like solid, but also.
Yeah. Segue into the other tricky part that we had to animate is the back, because it's bony, as you can see, and it can be quite tricky to have when it turns around, when it locomotes, to keep it turning and flexible, but not have the back distorting and twisting. avoiding those bad shapes.
Absolutely, no, they look incredible and very natural, and obviously the patterns. I mean, God, the blue on the top of this one looks so cool. Yeah. These look awesome, and obviously already, we've only gone through 3 species here, but there's a lot of variety here, and I know sort of been playing around in the game. Each species needs sort of a different type of setup in terms of its enclosure, so there's a lot of variety that you're going to be able to explore in terms of how you sort of set these up in your own parks, what your guests can expect. And if I'm not mistaken, the Desmatosuchus can also go into the dinosaur encounter, right? They're not going to chew your hand off like the other 2 species.
Yeah, unlike the Deinosuchus, which was not accepted into the petting zoo, or the Postosuchus juvenile, also not accepted into the petting zoo. You can interact with this little guy.
Amazing. Yeah, no, that's going to be a really, really cool one to bring to the parks. So let's now zoom out a little bit and take a plunge. We're going to go into one of our lagoons and take a look at one of my favourite species, the Shonisaurus. Here it is. This is the juvenile, and it's good to see. Obviously, I've described this in the past as quite a rotund species, and the juvenile is carrying that trophy with pride, looking very round. Kieran, what can you tell us about the Shonisaurus?
Think of it as the Shonisaurus as a prehistoric giant dolphin / whale. Super playful species, which you'll see coming across in animations, which Paolo will touch on, and also that really striking skin and pattern colour combination that we've got as well. But yeah, the Shonisaurus is just a giant joy to have in the game, I think.
No, yeah, it is. I love this one so much, and obviously you saw the adult there in the background, which kind of gives you a bit of a sense of scale, really. But Emma, obviously working on this species. It's a whole new model, right? Like, there's a whole new design that has to go into this. You were sort of saying in the past that you kind of have to start with the adult and work backwards, right?
Yeah, because we'll take the adult and kind of try and imagine reverse aging the adult. Like, what would it look like if it was a bit younger and younger and younger, and then becomes a juvenile? What would the proportions look like? So we always push the proportions to be a little bit cuter, a bit smaller, bigger eyes, the snout is a bit shorter. And we have really good fossil evidence. In the case of the Ichthyosaur family, we've got some fantastic fossils that a lot of them have been found in the UK, which is cool.
Amazing.
We can go, we're lucky to be able to go see them in person.
Yeah. No, that's really, really cool. I mean, I love this one. It's beautiful. And obviously, we know that players quite a big fan of the purple skin. We have the purple variant as well for the juvenile, which does look awesome. But Paolo, obviously, juvenile. When it comes to the Shonisaurus, how do you guys sort of approach this one? Because again, it's a new model. There's a full set of animations. There's a lot of work that has to go into this.
Yes. I didn't work personally on this, but asking my colleagues, I found out that we looked at whales, for example, as a reference for the adult, but for the juveniles, we looked at dolphins. Try to be a bit more playful, a bit more curious, get some more energy in there.
Nice.
And then it comes with all the new animations, the socials.
Yeah, that's it, right? Like you can definitely see it in the sort of adult to juvenile sort of animations and interactions, the way it kind of swoops up and over, and these are some stunning animations for these species. And stepping away from my favourite species and coming over to our other lagoon, we're going to take a look at the Styxosaurus as a full family unit here. Kieran, what can you tell us about what we have here? I mean, we've got the juvenile right here, right in the middle straight away.
Right here, and I think the big thing to point out here is that this is the first time we put bioluminescence onto a juvenile within the game. So here you'll see the Styxosaurus juvenile with its beautiful bioluminescent pattern, with the adults with the matching pattern as well in the background there. Styxosaurus it would have actually lived alongside the Deinosuchus. They would have never interacted, but it's quite nice that they did exist at the same time. But yeah, it's an amazing thing to have in the game, I think, the Styxosaurus. Styxosaurus as well is part of the family of marine reptiles that people thought the Loch Ness Monster was. You can kind of see it, even in the juvenile.
Kind of see it.
There's a lot of folklore, even in the name, obviously, of the Styxosaurus. It means, the river Styx between the ancient Greek living and land of the dead. So a lot of folklore surrounding this species, and it's great to have a nice storied specimen back in the game.
A lot of lore behind it. That's awesome. Yeah, and obviously you were saying there about the bioluminescent skin. I didn't actually really clock onto this until sort of very recently, but The work that has to go in to making the skin and then like sort of setting it up with the adults, right, Emma? Like,
Yeah, there's a whole genetic system behind the scenes. I mean, I think genetics is a really strong theme of the Jurassic World franchise. And the players now, besides getting a chance to genetically modify what I'd consider kind of like internal aspects, like live longer, be less or more aggressive, which can be passed on to the juveniles. Also, the outward appearance is going to be inherited, so you could start out with a pair of adults in a certain color, and eventually you could breed the whole rainbow in your park. Have a rainbow spectrum of all your
all the different
different colors.
No, yeah, it's awesome, and obviously, yeah, just adding in the bioluminescent skin there is just another part of that. And I just couldn't believe it when I saw how much work has to go into sort of adding them all in and being like, right, this juvenile means that adult, this adult means that adult makes that juvenile, and so on and so forth. And yeah, it's quite complex. But obviously, just sort of seeing it sort of swim around here and sort of interact a little bit with the adults, however, from an animation side of things, again, right, it's like it's a whole new setup, whole new model, right? There's a lot of work that has to go into this.
Yes, similar to the Shonisaurus, we had to add, the whole juvenile animation set with the socials, and it was another fun, addition. A bit tricky. This guy has a very long neck, which can be quite tricky to animate because doesn't behave like a tail. It just doesn't just follow, but you want to lead with the head, and that can lead to some twisting in the neck. Which we want to avoid, especially because it would be highlighted by the sail on its body, which is very cool.
No, absolutely, and obviously, yeah, some of the interactions, again, really playful, really just, I mean, it looks so happy, so chilled and relaxed.
It's so full of joy and whimsy. Something about the juvenile Styx. He's so like, yeah, yippee, wee.
No, it's great. It is a very, very stunning juvenile, but the Shonisaurus is still my favourite. So, right. So that is the 5 new species that we have coming in Crocodilia Coast. Emma, Paolo, thank you so much for joining us on the sofa to talk to us a little bit about the work that goes into making these awesome species. Kieran is going to stay next to me on the sticks running the game, but we are going to jump in now and we're going to take a look at some of the scenery that you may have seen dotted around in the background, and I have a wonderful new guest from the development team, as if by magic, right next to me. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Hello, I'm Samantha Marsh and I'm Senior Producer on Jurassic World Evolution 3.
Amazing. So here we are in game looking at one of these awesome new signs. What can you tell us about this scenery? I mean, it's stunning. I love this setup that we've got going on here.
Yeah, it's an incredible set of scenery, really. So it's a new style. So the team were really inspired by the northeastern seaboard of the US. So think North Atlantic boardwalks, really interesting convergence of the waterfront, sea and people. And the pack really grew from that, really. And it's been really, really cool to see how it's grown, how it's developed. And I think you really see that influence here in this park as well. Just looks amazing with it all together. So you've got your beautiful roof kits, floor kits, wall kits, but I think you've also got your awnings, your signs, your banners, your lighting. You've got surfboards, an anchor. There's so much to get your teeth sunk into here. And I think that flexibility of the pack is really, really what makes it so exciting. So I think that it'll be really, really, really cool to see what players can build from it and all of the creativity that allows as well. And a couple of the items that I really, really love in the pack is this sign with the marlin. Marlins make everything better, fact checked, that is just the truth. And all of the details you see on the sign are like hand sculpted, like exquisitely. So it takes a lot of time, it's a lot of skill. So I just think it looks absolutely beautiful. And yet, as Kieran has demonstrated really nicely here, you can change the flexicolour, you can make it yours. And I think it's a really cool example of the sign being a really good starting point for inspiration. It can be built into what you want it to be, and I think that I can already see the restaurant that this is the sign for in my head. which is really exciting. So yeah, some really beautiful signs, but also some really cool banners that I wanted to call out as well. So the concept team painted these incredible pieces of artwork, and the scenery team added them onto these banner items that you can place within your park. And I just want to say, they are
They're
stunning.
really cool.
Like lighthouse, anchor, boat. What more could you want, really, in a coastal pack? So, you know, I want to fill my house with them. They're just beautiful. Is it a park if it's just banners? I think so. It's still a park. But yeah, I think there's a lot of time and care that's gone into really bringing those to life, which is really cool. And as Kieran is also showing here, we've got a beautiful lightbox sign, which glows wonderfully, and I'm sure we'll show that off in a minute. But it's something we haven't really had before, so you can say welcome to Crocodilia Coast, showing of something, whatever you want, which is really cool. You can add the letters. It's a really cool piece that just adds to the fantastic variety of the pack.
Amazing. Yeah, absolutely. And we're seeing here, obviously, if you're like me and you like to delve into the blueprints a little bit more, there are a lot of blueprints, right, in this pack. And I mean, you're seeing some of them here. I mean, they're stunning, right? Like, you can create something quite quickly and make it look quite good.
Oh, absolutely. There's a really good range of blueprints. We've got some where you can place the amenity that you want within the blueprint, restaurant, restroom, whatever you like that to be. But we also have blueprints that are kind of more of the scenery side of things. We've got the waterfront huts, like beach huts. You can add that by itself, or a beautiful row of them, as you can see there. We've got a boardwalk entrance. We've got an eating area. It's, again, they can be used as a starting point for whatever you want them to become. If you don't want to spend hours building, we've got you covered, because you can place those down and they are then complete and they are finished, and you can add what you like to them. You can build them into something else. You can chop half of them away and make them something else, take parts of it. You can change all of the colours. It is yours. You can do with it what you want. And I think what's exciting about the blueprints is the team will create a list of items that is the pack. We'll build the blueprints and they will iterate from there. So the items themselves go through different stages. There'll be a block out, then there'll be game ready, then there'll be polish, and then we'll go towards those blueprints that follow a very similar kind of progression. And then we'll go, oh, do you know what, this building needs a bit of bunting. I mean, again, everything needs a bit of bunting,
Let's add
right?
bunting everywhere,
yeah.
absolutely.
So we'll then go back and go, let's add these items and just really make sure that we're finishing off and polishing all of these buildings and blueprints to the very best that they can be. So yeah, I think it's really exciting, and I'm really excited to see what players build with all of this stuff.
100%. And obviously, like, you know, when we started working on this pack and I sort of spoke to the creative team, and we were like, hey guys, you know, we're going to need a park for this preview event and for the trailer and stuff, and a little build. You know, we want to build out a boardwalk, and I mean, here you are. This is it, perfectly summarised, using a lot of these pieces. And it looks really, really good now, but it also looks really, really good at night time, right, as you said. So we're just changing it over to night time, doing it live. You're seeing it here. We're switching it straight over, and then we're going to see some of the lovely lights. I mean, look at that. I mean, it just, yeah, daytime and nighttime sort of really comes to life, doesn't it? It's
yeah, it's beautiful, and I think part of the fun is you have control over the lights yourselves. You can make it what you want, but it really just brings to life. You can really see that iconic character of the sort of waterfront coastal areas that you know we see, and I think it's been really captured so well as part of this pack as well. And you can see the light box there glowing. This lobster sign, if you want a bit more lobster red, you can make it lobster red. And,
yeah, why isn't it lobster red?
I know.
It feels like it should be.
We've
There
broken
we
some
go.
rules here. So there you go, lobster red. And I think that's another kind of aspect of this, that you know, you can build your park if you want it to be nighttime seaside, nighttime coast, nighttime waterfront, nighttime boardwalk, whatever you want it to be, it's yours. And it looks fantastic either way. But yeah, looking at this just makes me want some fish and chips.
Amazing. Cool, right, there we go. So that is some of the wonderful new scenery. Sam, thank you so much for taking us through that. And there we have it, some very cool scenery coming in Crocodilia Coast on August 11th. So just as a reminder, if you pick up the pack, you will get your hands on 5 prehistoric family units, starting with the long-awaited Deinosuchus, Desmatosuchus, Postosuchus, Shonisaurus and Styxosaurus, including hundreds of scenery pieces and a handful of blueprints. But that is not everything that comes out on August 11th. There is also a free update which introduces some really cool things such as the new Hawaii Square sandbox map. The Elasmosaurus makes a return as a full family unit. There's a host of new sandbox settings and features in there. One of the new settings in there, a personal favourite of mine, is going to be the auto transport of species and dinosaurs that may have passed away, which is great because my parks are terribly managed. And another really big one in there, definitely for the community, we've seen players asking for this quite a bit, and we finally got it in the game, and that is clear scenery glass pieces, so people will be able to actually make full glass walls with no frames, no reflections, no obstructions, so that they can create the blueprints that they've wanted to be making for a little while with those new pieces. So that is everything we have time for today. Thank you so much for my guests joining me today, and thank you so much at home for joining us as well and taking an early look at Crocodilia Coast coming to all platforms on August 11th.